Ladies and gentlemen, huge news, actually pretty amazing news. Lauren Boebert has officially won. Why is this important? We'll get to that. And then the most hilarious, I'll give you some good news and then some bad news, but it's actually pretty hilarious. They are desperate to stop Donald Trump. They are so desperate. They have lied and they have fabricated information for 7 years through the Steele dossier to the Mueller probe that found nothing exonerating Trump. He did not work with the Kremlin. There weren't suspicious contacts with another country that were illegal in any way, shape, or form. House Republicans will impeach Biden, and they can do so with graft and actual criminal statutes. Illegal schemes. Okay, these are felonies that you could point to the presidency with hundreds of millions of dollars being funneled through Hunter and everyone around Biden, eventually ending up in Biden's accounts. There's a reason he went from like $100,000 in financial net worth to 12 million or 10 to 12 million, okay? Nobody's read his books, and have you heard him speak? So they say, well, it's books and speaking engagements. Nobody's that stupid to believe that. Okay? You'd have to be a complete imbecile not to be suspicious of Democrats and not to realize that they're the epicenter of corruption in today's political climate, okay? Republicans were 20 years ago with the Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld people. They're now voting alongside Bernie Sanders in the Democratic Party. The Bush, Cheney, and Rumsfeld people, along with Bernie Sanders and AOC and Elizabeth Warren, are on the same political side. But anyway, hit subscribe to this channel right now. They started a special counsel, which is hilarious, to investigate Trump for crimes they couldn't find. So they already knew he took classified documents. They have all the documents. They have his tax returns. They have everything that they could ever want to indict him. Okay? They can't indict him. They have, January. There was already a January committee in Congress. So he did not organize January. Okay? They will never pin January on Trump. That was one day. And they ignore an entire summer of $1 to $2 billion in property damage. You're talking about the biggest hypocrites on the planet. And I agree with why people demonstrated, yes, that summer. I do. But I don't agree with 19 lives lost, according to Wikipedia, $1 to $2 billion in property damage. I mean, you have to be a complete hypocrite not to see the difference. One day, and then you had government agents within that day. That's according to court records. And the Federal Bureau of Investigation representatives and the Honorable Director Wray himself. But anyway, hit subscribe to this channel. Huge win for Boebert. And why doesn't her Democratic candidate or opponent want a recount? It actually, I believe that her victory falls within the legal statute in Colorado where she can get a recount. Or that he can get a recount. He doesn't want that. Gee, that's interesting. That's really interesting. But Lauren Boebert officially wins. You're going to have about a 6 or 7 point, about a 6 to 7 or perhaps more, around a 6 to 7 lead in the House of Representatives. Okay, you don't get that without Trump. So you're gonna have it'll be like well over 220 lead for Republicans. They're going to impeach Biden. And the thing that you need to understand, is when they impeach Biden, you're going to get thousands of articles from the Washington Post, the New York Times, MSNBC, CNN, The Atlantic, Vanity Fair, Esquire, New Yorker, New York Magazine, Mother Jones, The Nation, Daily Beast, BuzzFeed, Vice, saying, oh my God, you can't prove this. You can't prove Hunter got all that money. And they're going to repeat the reporting and the investigation. They're going to repeat they're going to actually bolster the case for impeachment. Because when the Washington Post does a fact check and they actually say, well, you can't prove that X amount of money, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars went into a shell company, and that shell company then siphoned money into Hunter's account, and this is not conspiratorial. This is public record. See, the thing that Democrats do all the time, anything that they're not suspicious of is a conspiratorial fantasy. It's a theory. It is not a theory. We have suspicious action reports. We have 150, according to CBS News and House Republicans, and anyone that's all public record, the New York Post, Daily Mail, Federalist, other publications. We already know that Hunter and James and Joe and everybody around them had 150 suspicious financial transactions. Okay, there are reports from banks. That's a fact. You don't need a special counsel, but they're not going to find anything with a special counsel. So the point is, Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Matt Gaetz, Jim Jordan, James Comer is going to be a star within the Republican Party, along with Jim Jordan. He's the House Oversight Committee. He launched and began the investigation yesterday into Hunter Biden. They want a special counsel, and no one's going to care. Honestly, they're done. Democrats know that Trump will never get indicted, and if he does get indicted, he'll beat it and defeat it. Democrats only have one thing: contempt and disdain for Trump. You have Seth Meyers and Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel does a better job than Seth Meyers, and Stephen Colbert does a better job of reading the teleprompter than the other two. But you have these people, like, watch Jimmy Kimmel and watch Seth Meyers. They're reading from a teleprompter. They're not even engaged in any, it's pure political theater where they're political operatives now, okay? It's not even funny. It's like canned laughter. It's like state media. Especially, like, you could see Seth Meyers, like, reading the teleprompter, and he doesn't even have any passion. It's been 7 years where they're going after Trump. From 2015 to today, there's a point of diminishing returns. You might say, well, they kept the Senate. They kept the Senate because of Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell gave money to 2 Republicans in Alaska, rather than giving money to Blake Masters in Arizona and Laxalt in Nevada. Think about that. He did not care. Mitch McConnell benefits from being the Senate Minority Leader. So when you have Lauren Boebert, you have a champion. For Donald Trump, 70-plus million Trump supporters, 70-plus million voters are Trump supporters. You have half the electorate, almost half the electorate, Trump supporters. That phrase to Democrats means like extreme, nutty, January. They don't realize that $1 to $2 billion in property damage, 19 lives lost, the nuclear confrontation we're seeing in Europe, credit card debt through the roof, real wages down 8.5%, an economy that's in free fall with unemployment rising and layoffs ahead. All of these things show and prove that democracy is not better when Democrats are in charge. Democracy is not better when CNN is in front of a building saying fiery but mostly peaceful. Democracy is not bolstered or strengthened or protected when real wages are down 8.5% and inflation keeps going up. One quarter of Americans, 25% of Americans are not celebrating Thanksgiving. And so if you're on the far left, what do you have to claim? That you have the most militant party that presided over a terrible economy? What is that? Like, the whole point of being on the left is you're anti-war and you care about alleviating poverty. You have literally the exact opposite from Democrats. So then what have you, like, Biden's administration can't even get student loan. You've got nothing. So Lauren Boebert, with, like, supporting President Trump, supporting impeachment, and they can defund what they can do easily with that special counsel is defund it in the House. Now you could get the tiebreaker being the vice president still keeping the funding, but that would be amazing because then you would get. I mean, how many times has you could possibly get a senator on the left, Democrats, to defund the special counsel also. We'll see, but they'll definitely work to defund They'll definitely work to defund that special counsel. And you'll have Lauren Boebert voting for that also. It's very, very important that Boebert wins, so that Boebert has won. It's official, and there's no recount, by the way. Give me your thoughts below. Gee, I wonder why. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe right